Hello students, it's me Ms. Schwind with a fun activity for you today. Remember, I love art, so for today's activity, we're actually going to draw together. So this is how it's going to go. You can either do this alone or you can do it along with me. You can watch the whole video and then try it yourself. It's really up to you. I'm going to be using a black marker today, but feel free to use whatever writing utensil you would like. Pencil is always a good idea because you can erase, but if you feel confident and ready to go with either a marker or a pen or a crayon, good looks, go ahead. What we're going to be doing today is making what I like to call a Zentangle. So we're going to draw a shape, and I'm going to show you a few different shapes you can do, and fill that shape with different types of line. So, get your materials, get back in your seat, and let's get ready in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. It's time to go. All right, students. So, first things first, I want to decide what kind of shape I want to do. So, I'm going to do a heart. However, if this is too hard and you decided you don't want to do a heart, you can also do a triangle. Or, if you prefer, an organic shape, which is an amoeba, or whatever kind of shape you want. This is a geometric shape, or a shape that has geometric lines that make up a very rigid shape, or an organic shape like this one that has no rigid lines and is just a free form line connected from end to end. So it's up to you. What do you want to do? I'll give you a second. Start with at least one shape that fills the space. It can be any shape that you want, including a circle, or even, a star. See, even I make mistakes sometimes. That's fine. Whatever shape you make, I would like you to start it now if you're drawing with me. If you're going to wait, that's fine. But you might want to just begin sketching something out so you have something to work with. Regardless of what shape you decide to do, I want you to take your writing utensil and break that shape into a few more. What do I mean by that? Well, I'm expecting you to add at least 2 lines into your shape. Let me show you what I mean. I can do 1 line down and 1 line across. These 2 lines have broken up my heart shape into how many pieces? 1, 2, 3, 4. Now I have a heart that's in 4 pieces, and I can choose to fill the heart with whatever I want. You could choose to add more lines before adding stuff inside, but I think 4 is just a perfect amount. Also, if you tend to go faster than me, that's fine. Just know you can always start over or make another shape when you're done with the first one that you've started. Just start with 1, manage with that, and then if you have time, you can always do more. Next, I'm going to repeat this same step to my other shapes so I can show you examples on different shapes. This one, I'm going to add 2 lines going across like that. So remember I said 2 lines going through our shape? This is how we can make things different. This one has intersecting lines, or lines that cross. This shape has diagonal lines. They are going across but are not touching. This is also known as parallel lines. So what should we do? Whoopsies. To our last shape, the amoeba. Well, I think I'm going to just boom. Technically, this is one line, even though it's a zigzag, and the other line is a short line. So again, we have how many sections? Same sections as our triangle, but how many are there? 1, 2, 3. Perfect. So now here's the fun part. You can pick a different utensil, or you can keep the same. I want to fill my shape with a different kind of line. Now I picked green, but I'm not coloring in anything, so don't color in anything. Instead, I'm going to use this green to create different types of line inside this image. So let me explain by showing you. I'm going to put straight lines up and down in this section of my heart and fill the whole section with lines. Even though they're a different color than my lines that separated the sections of my heart, I'm not coloring in my heart in any of the section. This is not about coloring in, it's about taking your time to explore line. I'm going to do a wavy line here, and I'm going to fill this whole section of my heart with wavy lines. Boom! Once you have wavy lines, let's maybe try a different one. What's another type of line that you know about? Another type of line would be curly lines. I'm going to fill this side with lots of curly lines. The curly lines are not going to touch each other, but they are going to fill up this space. So take a second and pick whatever type of line you would like. Let's think of what other lines there are. I think I'm going to try a zigzag line in this part of the heart. Again, I'm not filling it up with anything but a zigzag line. No coloring in, no taking up too much space. Pretty cool, right? So that's my first shape. I'm going to switch gears and go to red for my amoeba. I'm going to fill this section with all sorts of dots. Dots are actually a very short line, technically. So let's fill this whole space with that very short line that is dots. Thumbs up if you're doing a good job. Thumbs down if you're confused. If you're confused, you can always rewind the video or ask an adult for help. But I have more than enough confidence that you can do this. Remember, it doesn't have to look like mine. Yours can be completely different. So even though I just finished the heart and we're going to the amoeba, you're not expected to do more than one. Only if you have enough time should you be moving on to a different shape with different types of line. Let's go on to another type of line. I'm going to put some more straight lines in this area. Whoops. Again, all of us make mistakes. I'm trying to keep my hand straight. But sometimes it goes a little wonky, and that's fine. You still get the idea. My hand is doing the best it can. Sometimes weird stuff happens while we're drawing. So now that we have one last section to fill out for this little shape, think about what kind of line we haven't used. What could it be? Let's add swirly lines. This one can be tricky. You're going to start from a circle that spins inside of itself. Boom. So now that shape has all sorts of line filled in it as well. If you wanted to take a little break just to see what I was going to do before you did anything, that's totally fine. If you're already done with yours, that's cool too. But you're not expected to be completely done by this point. Take your time. There is no rush. This is just an exercise in exploring lines inside of shapes. So let's go over to our little triangle and just quickly give some options what that could look like. I could do a dotted line, several dotted lines. I could do one big wavy line. I'm doing blue for this one. Again, I might be going fast, but I'm just trying to show you examples. So don't get frustrated, don't get upset, just try your best. Nothing has to be perfect, you just have to put out your best work. Sometimes we might get frustrated because our art doesn't look the way we want it. But what's the point of doing art if we're not enjoying it? So just enjoy the process. It's totally fine because you're practicing. Practice makes perfect, and the first practice will not be perfect. I guarantee it. So let's fill in that last shape, just that one last shape inside of this shape. And that will be, I say, a bunch of thick lines up and down. Boom. So, now that you have watched this video on how to fill different shapes with lines after breaking them into smaller shapes, take your time to practice this and have fun. Remember, you don't have to be perfect. You just have to give it your best shot. See you next time.